People pay good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth.
Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Dad?
Yeah?
What's wrong?
What if my next book is not good or witty and has no commentary and just kind of repeats itself? I'm not inspired. I don't feel like I have anything funny to say. Horrible. I'm a little anxious. I just been in a funk.
In your gut, or
No.
issues pooping, or
Really, I'm just having trouble writing.
unless it's obstructing your colon, I don't know that I can help.
Oh.
You should have called me for a beer if you wanted to hang.
I know.
10 a.m. New York Times interview.
I think coming here was a terrible idea. I mean, when did coffee shops become people's second home?
This guy's doing me a favor.
A favor? I thought you said you wanted to do this.
Just don't ramble.
1 p.m. drop off Lily at ex-wife's.
And I think you would agree that it's not my week.
Danny, how's the book coming?
Horrible, man.
I believe in you.
Oh, good.
I'll see you later.
Okay, bye, sweetie.
His abs are not realistic. What a man has to give up for abs like that is not even worth it.
4 p.m. Call my sister back.
That's a lot to ask me to come in.
This is your sister's wedding. Get your ass here, okay?
It's not like it's your first wedding.
I married for love, then sex, and now I'm marrying for money.
Is there a world in which that's not considered selling out?
Benny Dink, the one and only. What an honor to have you back in our humble little town.
Okay, stop it.
I just missed the hell out of you.
Have you?
No.
I love you, girl. It's true, I did.
I think he's a little stressed about the state of the world.
I'm pro-good, pro-gun, and anti-woke live for life.
You say you want to try again.
It all feels like I'm on a fast-moving train running straight off the tracks.
Sounds like a classic rock song.
There ain't no hope in nothing.
I feel like my writing might never be the same again, you know? And it kind of feels like it's one of the sacred things I have.
We need more sacred things in this world.
There ain't no hope in nothing.
I typically am one to ride the waves of the universe, you know? But sometimes I feel like
You just gotta say no so you can catch the next big one.
Do you remember my idea about the old man and the sea?
the book, The Old Man and the Sea.
No. It tips its hat a little bit to the
Old Man and the Sea.
The Old Man and the Sea.
Old Man and the
It's in English, I can't adapt.
I'm just throwing truth bombs, all right? Whether or not you accept that, that's entirely up to you.
Hey folks, welcome to a special episode of The Projection Booth. I'm your host, Mike White. On this episode, I'm talking with Josh and Nick Holden. They are the writers and directors of the new film Sellout. It is currently making its way around the festival circuit. I had a great time talking with the Holden Brothers, and I hope you have a great time listening to this interview. Normally, I would ask a couple filmmakers that come onto my show where you guys know each other from, but I have a feeling you might have known each other for a long time.
Nick got here first on the planet, and then I came 17 months later. We were born in Los Angeles. Our mom was out there studying acting, and then she quit, gave it up to raise us, and then moved back to Louisiana. That's where she was from. And then we grew up there and then moved to Austin whenever we were out of high school. And then been in Austin ever since. I went to film school at UT eventually, and then Nick went to St. Ed's. So we've been together the whole time, working together. We started studying acting right out of high school and playing in a band and doing all that. And then we started writing a lot. And then we've just spent a lot of time writing scripts and working on that together.
Tell me about that writing process. How do you guys collaborate on that stuff?
We used to sit in the garage and write every line together.
We've gotten wiser over the years. Now we usually I'll try to come up with a bunch of ideas and then I'll pitch them all to Josh and be like, which road do we, or that's how we started. Now we have so many scripts we've done together that we can, when we're thinking of something, we are referencing one of the scripts. So a lot of times we'll take stuff from scripts and in our new scripts. Now, once we decide on a route, I'll try to do some preliminary work, talk to him, he'll do some stuff, and then get in a room and just do note cards and a beat sheet and get it up on the board, usually first act, second A and B and third act. And then from there, we get that really working. Then we'll do like an outline for that, read the outline. And the beach and the outline each take about a month and a half. And then it's about a good month and a half to knock out a draft. And then he reads it, and then we sit in the same room and we just go through it page by page, rereading stuff out loud. So it's a good, almost 6-month process. Yeah. And that Sellout, we were still figuring out our process when we wrote that, but that's basically similar how we did it. But I feel like it's a little more honed in now.
How did the Golden Rut come about?
We'd been writing a lot of scripts, but all of them would require bigger budgets to make. And we just got to a point where we said, okay, we need to make a film, we need to make a feature, and we need to make something that is low budget. It was like 30 grand or so. And something that we could shoot and pull off and just practice our craft. And to see, okay, we want to make all these scripts we've written, but can we pull it off kind of thing. That was the first one where it was like, all right, us attempting to make a film really for our friends and family in some ways, our closest immediate community. And we learned a lot. We learned so much.
You're backed up against the wall, a little desperate, been saying we were going to make a film forever. We're like, okay, it's nice to have some wisdom to be able to have, and we're like, who could we give any advice to? Because we were like 27, 20. We're like, oh, we could tell our 20-year-old self what not to do. Let's make a film about trying to make it as an actor and dating. And that was where that came from.
Yeah. And then we just ended up both acting in it ourselves because that's what we found so far is we've never had really a budget to get a lead actor for a feature. Because it's like, all right, we know both of us will show up every day for as long as it takes to keep going.
Where did Sellout come from? Where did the idea come from?
I think it came from a few ideas at once, but some of it being in COVID, being locked up, the attention of the country. It felt so just like it was about to burst. And also COVID is just the end of the world. There was times to that. We had little babies. And then being a parent. And then also, yeah, just like our childhood friends in Louisiana and being different on the same, such a different page politically. But that being in the news so much and it being so amped up. But then when you see each other, it's not quite as amped up as maybe it feels like in the news. So it's like you're not quite as divided as they make it out to be. So trying to just come to terms with all of that. And it's a lot. It's a lot of ideas in the script. It's a lot of different things we're touching on.
We had been researching and writing the feature for the 91 governor's race in Louisiana when David Duke beat out the incumbent Buddy Roemer. So we had been deep in that for about 3 years, and we wrote that feature. And that's a much larger feature to make. And so we made it a pretty meta where we leaned into us being writers, writing that. And we had been going home to Louisiana. And Nick and I had been going back, doing interviews, talking to people. And so it just started evolving where this Benny Dink character was going home. And we really were talking to baristas and everyone for the Sellout stuff of just like, the world just shifting so fast and getting so expensive and all these things. We spent a lot of time researching all that and filming, and then we did a test shoot and we filmed some scenes from the script and we did a teaser, like a 10-minute teaser. And then once we found that helped us, we were like finding our tone there. And then once we found that, we used that to go raise money and attach actors and try and get the film rolling. That was around what, Nick, 2022? End of 2022, perhaps, sometime around there.
Nick, I'm really curious as far as how you balance being in front of the camera so much with being one of the writer-directors. I mean, how do you work with your brother?
It was a lot of prep. That's why we did a whole 10-minute tone piece, so we could just, me and him shooting it, editing it, cutting it, really figure out exactly what we want to do, come up with a strategy. And then it's a lot of lines that I'm saying, so I feel like I just memorize the lines and then play with the actors while I'm doing that, but I lean on him to do the overall direction and to lean on the camera. Then we'll divvy up little things. Like I do a lot of the wardrobe. I like to do the wardrobe stuff. We'll split the locations. We'll split the casting. Just there's so many things to do and there's so much going on. It's just kind of, and you have to do so many roles. So it's just like to have someone that you basically know will answer your call 24 hours a day, be there the whole time. Like, I don't know how you make films without that person. And we have a lot of another team. We have two great producers, Morgan Pollard and Jennifer Kuchai. They gave everything they possibly could to this film. You can't ask people to give you their whole lives for no money. But me and him are putting everything. So I'm so grateful for that, to have that kind of partnership. And then Michael Green, who came to, so you get all these people that come and they're there for production. Maybe they leave for post, but but it's such a indie film. I feel like you need a partner like that. But I think we found Benny together before we started shooting. I was really nervous to play the role, and that's why we did so much test shooting to where everyone was like, yes, you got to do this. This is great. This is great. So then it was, we could focus on other stuff. Like he'll be setting up the camera. I'll be talking to the actors, rehearsing with them, running lines, making them comfortable, like dividing and stuff. And
we learned so much on our first feature because we were both in front of the camera.
I was only in front of the camera a couple of days though, which was nice.
Yeah. And we had a small indie crew and it was on sticks and, it was just moving slow. And on this one, we thought, okay, we found the tone 6 or 7 days into shooting the Golden Rut. And we thought, all right, we don't want to do that again. So we spent the time on this one shooting that tone piece where we found the tone ahead of time that we could show the actors. Everyone knows coming in generally what we're going for. It ended up evolving past that tonally. But, and then we said, okay, we're just going to shoot it on these GH6, like $2,000 Panasonic cameras with some anamorphic lenses and just use 2 or 3 lights for the shoot, because that'll allow us to continue to shoot and be able to be free whenever we don't have a crew. Just Nick and I can go around and shoot some stuff in the B-roll or the Louisiana stuff or the car scenes or things like that. So that's the way we set out to make it and establish that kind of handheld documentary, somewhat documentary style tone. And then we had 2 really great DPs, Taylor Cameron and Elliot Fenton. And then they each kind of split up days and came out for a certain amount of time. And then when they weren't there, I had some other young shooters who were like Anna and Kyle, and they would come and shoot with us and all that. So it was just overseeing the tone and all that.
Obviously, you have one of your main actors there all of the time, whenever you need them. But tell me about the rest of your cast. How did they come together?
Over the years, we've got in the Austin film scene, and we just have Jimmy Gonzalez, old friend. Being in the scene, we've really maintained relationships with people and hung out with them all. So we were writing a lot of roles for him. And then when the time came, it was like, hey, do y'all want to do this? And we send the teaser, like, let's do this. We didn't know Adrienne Palicki, but our friend did. And she was into the project and she had some free time. So it was really just a cool, and we did take our time and really waited patiently to cast. We really were like, hey, let's just wait till the perfect person comes.
And Sarah Dowling, we got Sarah. She's a local casting agent we've done for a while. She helped us a lot.
One of the side cast members. We wrote the part for Stephanie Hunt and stuff like that.
Jimmy and Gabe had seen the teaser and reached out and said, where's my part? Gabe in it. So we were like, oh, we got a part for you. Bill Wise, we've worked with a ton. We had an old series with him called The Gil Webb Show, where he was like a kind of belligerent drunk who didn't know who he was interviewing. And he was interviewing musicians. And we love working with Bill. He's so funny. So we always work with Bill. And our mom, we casted our mom as the mom and Nick's daughter as the daughter. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Nick, your character is neurotic, and you are channeling a little Albert Brooks for me, some of those earlier Albert Brooks. How do you get yourself in that headspace of just that continual self-doubting kind of manic state?
Oh, I just pick up the newspaper, watch a little news for a few minutes, and I read a lot of political history. Like I like to read a lot of times. I prefaced all these different political. So I just try to get myself in that headspace, and it's not hard, and especially at that particular time.
I imagine even today you could probably get in that headspace pretty easily.
It's so easy to spin out. I feel like right now, and all the pressures of stuff, it's just easy to spin out. It's a fun role to play, actually. It's a fun character.
What were some of your biggest challenges making this movie? Because I know making an independent film is not easy.
I think raising the money was really hard, because when we moved to Austin, we just started hanging out with all these really cool artists. They were all waiting tables and just, man, these are the coolest people. We had come from Louisiana, and there really weren't as many artists that we knew. So we're just hanging out with those people. And then when it's like, oh, we need to raise some money, it's like, oh, we don't really know very many wealthy people, much less cool wealthy people. So then we was like, oh, damn, we need to learn how to raise some money. So that's been a long time of trying to build networks, and then finding the really cool people that have some money that are into the arts. That was super hard. And then the editing was, we didn't have much money for post. So we're just juggling so many different jobs, editing, trying to be patient, because we're like, feel like this film plays differently at different times. We felt like right after the election, like all last spring, one a really great time to put it out. So just trying to be patient and just trying to really take our time. There's such a tendency to want to rush to finish the film for a festival. And my kind of mentors have said, like, don't ever do that. Get the film right. And so there is that tendency of, oh, we should get it out as soon as we can. Also, we need jobs. So the quicker we get the film in the festival, maybe we could get some other jobs. So there is that but it's like just being patient, learning to just stay real patient and get the film right, because it lives on forever. I think that was the hardest part.
Yeah, I think fundraising is the hardest part. It's challenging in that we were raising money as we were shooting, and as we're locking in cast, we didn't have a solid crew or all of our locations. So me and Jennifer and Morgan and Nick were in Jennifer's kitchen trying to schedule all the actors traveling and the locations. And we didn't even have the budget fully raised yet. And we were several days in shooting. So it was scary, but it was also one of those things where I was like, man, if we wouldn't have done that and we didn't just put the pedal to the metal, it would have never gotten made. And it ended up working out.
Were you guys shooting this piecemeal, weekends, evenings, that kind of stuff? Or did you actually have like a full block of shooting time?
We were doing a lot of piecemealing, and we would shoot. Some days we just do 2 hours of shooting. And it just because sometimes it was just 2 people crew or something. And then other days, once things started to roll and once we raised more of the money to shoot the film, then we started scheduling and did a certain, maybe, I don't know how many days we did. But then we scheduled some proper days, shot along.
And did you guys edit this yourself, or did you have somebody helping?
We have an editor with us, Michael Green, and Michael was there from the beginning. Nick and I created the tone and the pacing, and then we divvied up scenes with Michael and created an assembly together, which was about a 3-hour assembly. Yeah. And we said, no one wants to watch a 3-hour comedy, including me. So we went through, and then it took us maybe 6 months or so to cut that down to 2 hours. And then we brought on a friend of ours, Tony Costello, and he helped us trim another 10 minutes out, which was really helpful. Because once you get onto that like 145, and we were trying to get to 90 minutes, we're just so close to it. It was so hard. And then we spent another couple months just chipping away at it, screening it, watching it with audiences and seeing test screenings and seeing what's working and what's not. And then it took us a good probably 2 years to do. And because we were doing the music with our friend Mario Mattioli, and we would do that at my house here every like Wednesday night because he has a job, full-time job. So for 2 hours every Wednesday night, we'd work on the music, and we were just had to chip away as we went because we were also doing production work and jobs and stuff like that and have kids and stuff. Yeah.
I was going to ask if you guys had seen this with an audience, but it sounds like that was a really valuable part to cut this down and really hone that to what we end up seeing today.
We did a couple of test screenings really helped because there was a lot to whittle down. And
I find too with test screenings, it's so helpful to watch with an audience because you just get your blinders on after a while, and you don't even need feedback. You just watch it with them and you're like, okay, I can see where this is dragging, where that's not working. If you just feel it in the room with them, it helps so much.
When did you guys have your premiere, or is that yet to come?
So we had the premiere Thursday, October 23rd. Terrific screening, terrific audience. People really loved it. And then we'll have a screening October 30th at the Galaxy at 7. I think then next we'll play Lone Star November 5th at 6 p.m. in Fort Worth. And then we'll play Lafayette, Louisiana, November 15th at 2:30 p.m. So those are the next 2 screenings we have coming up. Audience, Austin definitely really seemed to love the film. So it'll be interesting to play in some other places too. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be nice going back to the hometown.
Yeah, I know. Can't see what people think. They're all messaging. They're all excited. And then we're going to try to get a New York screening. We're talking to some festivals in New York and LA and talking to some sales agents and hopefully distribute it next spring.
Is there a good place for people to keep up with you guys in the movie?
It's on Instagram. We're at Sellout Movie, and then also the Brothers Holden. So Brothers with an S and then Holden. And that's a pretty good place for us. We usually keep them, at least definitely someone's keeping the Sellout page going, and then we'll try to repost as much as we can.
Nick and Josh, thank you so much for your time, guys. This was great.
Mike, thanks for doing it.
Thanks for having us, Mike. It's great.